What's going on, world? I'm John Juan of johnjuan.com, and it is January the 23rd, 2014. This is my final audio cast, so I'm going to make it short and sweet. From now on, everything I do is going to be video cast. I mentioned that earlier in the month, that ultimately my goal was to start uploading videos to YouTube and other outlets online. I want to hit different corners that I haven't hit before over the last 12 years of me being present online. Um, don't expect any type of Hollywood productions. Like I said, with my websites, I'm amateur. I'm not professional. I don't have any expensive equipment. It's just me, my camera, and usually whatever I decide to put out there. I enjoy listening to myself and I enjoy watching myself. So if you don't enjoy it, fuck you. I really don't care. Everything I do is for myself. I'm not doing anything for anyone else. If you happen to enjoy it, wonderful. But just got back to Atlanta from Detroit. Spent 3 4 days up in Detroit, and I hit the North American International Auto Show, the 2014 edition. If you're looking at my blog right now, scroll down, you'll see a couple of the snapshots I shot when I was there. I had a blast as usual. If you read the front of my blog, cars are one of the three things I enjoy most in life: food, women, and vehicles. And I saw a whole lot of new shit out there that I'm kind of interested in right now. It's one of those years where my lease is up, so I have an option of going in and copping um, one of those new vehicles that I saw out there. I've kind of tried to sway away from what I consider shit that's beneath me, the shit that I had back in high school, and as I was a youngster, a young 20-something-year-old. Back then I was a Mustang and Jeep dude. I try to gravitate towards the a little bit more upscale now. So I like that Cadillac ATS. I got that on my radar. But never say never. You could see me. Well, you won't see it because I've learned my lesson as far as broadcasting what you're rolling around the hood in on the internet. That got me into a whole lot of shit in Miami, and it got me into a whole lot of shit in Detroit as well. I think if you go back through the blog, you'll see a lot of times that I've gotten pulled over. Um, it was because I had gotten recognized by the same police riding around in the same car. So since then, hopefully you motherfuckers just don't know what I'm rolling around in, unless I'm rolling around in the old school. Of course, you're gonna recognize me in that. But so we'll see what happens with that. I'll probably cop something new this year, and maybe I'll show the interior. If you guys see the interior, that doesn't, you can't tell what the outside looks like. You know, like right now, you just know I roll around in Cadillacs. Um, what else has been going on since the last time I did audio? If you look at my tweets, and I'll probably go ahead and post a picture of my new business card under this audio. I'm trying to do the quote unquote pretty model um, site again, the johnjuan.xxx. As you know, in the past, my competitive spirit has guided me to try to seek out some bras that look a little bit better than the models that I put on FileFile.com. My ego just gets to me. You know what I'm saying? I hear motherfuckers talk about what sites have what kind of girls and this and that, and whoop de woo and all this shit. So a couple of weeks ago, I decided to myself that I'm gonna go ahead and get out here and see if I can recruit some different looking girls to put on the johnjuan.xxx site. Of course, nothing will change as far as FileFile.com is concerned. I may even throw a couple chicks up on ChicChick.com. And as you know, I'm going to keep on shooting the transsexual models for ChickCock, because those are the bread and butter of everything I do. I've tried to walk away from those sites so many times. I've used all kinds of tactics to motivate myself to give them up, but it never works. I've used the 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 fear of danger and shit. I use that aspect. The fact that walking into abandoned cribs could get you killed, or or I could get stabbed, or just any kind of thing. I've used the fear of getting arrested for prostitution, or or being in just picking up hookers and shit like that. I've used the fear of disease, just all kinds of shit to pull myself away from FileFile. But I've come to realize that you can't walk away from money, and and when you're making as much money as I'm making with FileFile Entertainment, you just got to ride it out and see what happens. So I'm gonna keep riding on that gravy train, but I'm also gonna kind of explore other avenues. Like I said, I've got the video cast that I'm starting up this week, and hopefully I'll be successful with that. Usually anything I stick with is successful, but I have to have my heart in it. A lot of motherfuckers don't even realize that I make money off of my 313 t-shirts. If you go to 313tees.com, I've been doing that for the last couple of years. I make money off of that. I don't know if you've ever seen anybody with the Detroiter t-shirts on in Detroit, but I created that. You know what I'm saying? I went down and got a local trademark, or whatever you want to call it, in Michigan back in 2007, I think it was. And I got that off the ground slowly but surely. So I've been doing that, and I've got a eBay store that I have, I've been working on for like the last 5 years, and I probably make more on my eBay store than most motherfuckers make at their job. So I mentioned earlier this month that I made $100,000 this year, and yeah, that's how I made it. With the porn and with the other shit that I've got going on. So I do pretty good, but like I say, my ego and the competitive person that I am, I just have to keep on pushing. And right now, I want to go ahead and get that johnjuan.xxx up and running. What else is going on? The gig I got is going wonderful. I mentioned I have a little freelance job that I picked up a couple of days after the start of the new year, and I did that basically just to prove to myself that I still had it in me. Once you sit around on your ass for 4 years, you start thinking to yourself, damn, can I even work again? Do I have the capability of getting up at a certain time and being at places when I'm supposed to be there? And and I've been doing it. You know what I'm saying? It's really easy. It's really like a joy to actually be doing something in the middle of the day on certain days, because I don't do it all the time. It's just like a part-time thing. But it's really exciting to be able to get up and have a purpose instead of getting up and fumbling on different sites online. So I'm enjoying it. I don't know how long it'll last. I'll do it until I get bored. I really kick myself for not getting into something like this back in 2010. But as I've said before, I've traveled around. I think I've been traveling pretty extensively since 2006. When I lost my job, my 9 to 5 that I had in 2006, I moved out to LA. And all of that is documented on my blog. That's actually when I first started the blog in Los Angeles. I went back to Detroit because I got my job back, and from that point, from 2006 till 2010, I held on to a 9 to 5, and in 2010 I left and I moved to Miami. Stayed in Miami for, I think it was 2 years, February of 2010 till 2012. Was it a year or was it 2 years? I don't know. I forget. But I should have been doing what I'm doing now here in Atlanta, out there in LA or in Miami. But it just wasn't right. The time wasn't it wasn't right. I wasn't ready to be doing anything else. I think I needed these 4 years that I've had to just get everything I wanted to get out of my system, and I've done it. And I'll tell you one thing about Atlanta. It's just so easy to make money. There's opportunity everywhere. Opportunities everywhere, and the cost of living is just a lot cheaper than it is up north. I live a whole lot better here in Atlanta than I live in Detroit. And I mentioned to you that I go up to Detroit because that's where, my roots are there. So, I can't just stop, just cut off my roots and and just stay away from where I'm from. So obviously I'll always be going up there. But when I was in Los Angeles, the cost of living was just so motherfucking high. It's just so expensive to do anything out there. I mean, you can live out there. I could be out there doing what I'm doing here in Atlanta, but it just doesn't feel as good as Atlanta feels. And now Miami is pretty cheap also. I was in Miami from 2010 until 2000. I forget when I left. I think it was 2011. When I left Miami, I was just so fucking tired of the heat. The heat was getting to me, and being so far away from motherfuckers. You have to realize, when you're in places like Los Angeles and you're in Miami, you're so far away from Detroit, where I'm from, and it's very difficult to go up and visit. I think when I was in Miami, I stayed there actually for like 10 months. The first time I went back up was after being there for 10 months, and that was kind of difficult for me. So eventually I'm gonna leave Atlanta. I'm gonna go back to probably Miami and probably Los Angeles. I want to have a condo out west, and I want to have one. Actually, I want to buy a house in Miami. So that's eventual. I don't want people to get the idea that I'm a Atlanta resident, because I'm just here passing time. I'm just here making money and doing what it does right now. So don't consider me an Atlantan, as you call it. I'm just here, and I may buy some property because it's so fucking cheap. Houses here go for like 100 grand. I mean, you can get a nice house for 100 grand. So I'll probably do that before I leave, and this might be one of my little stomping grounds from now on. But don't consider me to be a motherfucker that's all about Atlanta, because I like to keep myself up in the D, and eventually I want to leave Atlanta. But right now, this is the place to be. So I'll see you in a couple of days, and for the first time you will see me, because like I say, it'll be a video cast, and this is the final audio cast that I'm doing. Hope you've enjoyed it. I've gotten a little bit of momentum. I think I've got my speaking voice together. I think I sound pretty good. So talk to you later.